further ado, I introduce Ray Didinger. Oh, thank you all for coming out. This is very nice of you all to come out.
The Hall of Fame. How did that feel?
It was tremendous. It was really very emotional to be voted, to given that honor in a vote of your the other sports writers, that they chose you for that singular honor that year, and then to go to the Hall of Fame and see your name up there with all the great players and coaches, and then to be part of that weekend, to be part of the whole induction weekend, was tremendous. It was very nervous to deliver a speech, with all of the great players all sitting there listening to you while you're up there talking. Probably the most nervous I've ever been, but also probably the most grateful. It was, of all the things I've done and experienced, that was probably the most meaningful. And every time I go back to Canton now, when I go back, I always go and just see if my name is still up there, that they haven't had second thoughts and decided to, you know what, that 1995, we could have done better than that. No, so as of August, I was still there.
You have a book.
Yes.
What is that about?
It's the Eagles Encyclopedia called Champions Edition. So this is the third edition. We did an Eagles Encyclopedia in 2005. Then we did the new Eagles Encyclopedia in 2012. And what we had said was, we'll do a third edition if they win a Super Bowl. And so when they won the Super Bowl, we felt like we had to finish the story. And so that's what we did. It was a pretty tough deadline. I mean, I had to do everything in a month. I had to write more than 50,000 words in less than a month to make the deadline to get the book out by the fall. But it was such a great story, and it was such a great feeling when this team won it, that it was it was easy to do. I mean, it was a lot of work, but it was easy at the same time because you were telling such a beautiful story.
You're a writer in the Hall of Fame. What made you want to become a writer?
I just felt like writing was something I was kind of meant to do. I felt that from a pretty early age. I had a few teachers in school, as early as grammar school, who told me that they thought that I had a flair for writing. And when I got to high school, I had a couple English teachers that really pushed me, convinced me that maybe this was the way to go. And I enjoyed it. I enjoyed writing. I enjoyed the idea of storytelling. And it just felt natural to me. More than anything else I ever tried, writing felt like the most natural thing that I could do. So that was what I went to college and studied journalism, and everything just kind of fell into place from there.
Hey, what advice could you give to interviewers or people that want to be in the industry?
Well, that's really two different questions. Somebody wants to be in the business is one question. Somebody wants to be an interviewer is another question. If somebody wants to be in the business, what I would say is be patient. Nothing's going to happen overnight. You're not going to graduate from college and jump right onto the set of the NBC Nightly News or MSNBC or anything like that. You're going to have to, like any other business, start and work your way up the ladder from the bottom, hopefully to the top. But you have to be patient with it. You have to be really determined. But you really have to believe in yourself. You have to believe that this is what you're meant to do, and believe in your own ability to do it. I think that's a big part of it. It's very challenging. The business, the industry is very challenging. When I got in it, newspapers ruled everything. Newspapers were bigger than TV news. That's totally turned around now. I mean, TV and cable TV and the internet are now where people get most of their news. Newspapers are shrinking and in many cases dying. So the industry is a whole lot different than it was when I got into it. But it doesn't mean there are fewer opportunities. The country will always need people who can write, who can report, and who can find a good story and tell a good story. You know, the way you transmit it, the technology will change, but the fundamentals of good journalism and good storytelling will never change.